Alright. I don't know. Here we go. Alright. Yeah, okay, you can hear me. So, hi everyone. Today, normally, I would be doing punk rap at this hour. Punk rap, etc. But the fact of the matter is, I have another project that is taking up a decent amount of my time. And I just thought I would talk instead. Um, there I am. Because honestly, why not? Right? I haven't done like a talk esque thing on my while doing I look busted. This is makeup from last night. I haven't done like a just a talking thing um on my show before because it was so focused on music because that's what I wanted to do. So I didn't even think to like, you know, do something more talk based because I wanted to do what I wanted to do, which was music. So this is just me chilling out with you guys. If you're watching, I'm MJ. If you don't know who I am, I'm the host of Punk Rap, etc. And normally that's what I would be doing. It's like a show where I, talk about music and do sketchbook sessions, and normally I would do that. But to be honest with you, again, like I said, I have a lot of stuff to do for this like musician that I really love is doing a contest, and I was like, well, I want to enter. So right now I'm sketching out my not sketching, I'm animating actually. So I'm animating on my iPad, and I'm doing it's gonna be long. I have like way more than half the song left to do. I'm barely into the first chorus, and I didn't plan this accordingly, but here we are. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today, and just maybe talking about whatever I care to talk about. Um, if you're friends with me, or if you're not, feel free to make comments. We can talk while I'm doing this. Arnie Price said, "Yo, what's up? Hello." Um, so this is just gonna be kind of be me speaking. Because what's funny is I was like, "Oh, no one's gonna want to like listen to me speak," and then I was like, "Well, that's what most of what Govs is, right? Like people speaking literally is what we do, um, or what you guys do most of the time. Mine is like, um, I tend to schedule or like prepare for what I'm gonna say, because I want to talk about one specific thing. But again, this time around, like, why not? So what I'm doing now, or what I'm doing here, is when you animate, when I animate, I take like I just take the scenes from the thing that I'm animating over, and I just like draw on top of them. Normally, I haven't actually ever animated over something before. I've only ever animated from scratch. Um, like, one of my senior theses was just like a from scratch animation. Like, there's no like video underneath it. But for this today, what I'm attempting to do is animate over a video of me, which is way more no, it's not as complicated because you don't have to like actually create things. I'm sorry, you have to create things, but you have like not a blank canvas to do so on. So that's kind of neat. It's helpful sometimes. So what I do when I animate is I put the layers of the stuff that I was animating below it, and it's what's called onion skinning, which means that you can see the layers below you so that you can see what you're doing, like what needs to come next. So it's like putting like a piece of saran wrap, it's like tracing paper, like over each other so you can see what you're doing below it. And that's how you know how to make your next move to whatever you care to animate next. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'll show you, it's hard to get like an angle where I can show you me drawing, but I will get that to you in a little bit. So right now I'm drawing some flowers, or I'm going to be, and I'm doing it, normally you'd animate in like way bigger frame sets, so like for shows that you see that are animated, they're going to animate with like 24 images per second, which is 24 frames per second. I don't have that kind of time since it's due tomorrow, and so I am not going to be doing that. I will be I'm doing 2 frames per second, which is not as smooth, but it's more stylistic. That's what we're going with, because I don't have time to do a full-fledged rendition of, like, you know. So I'll show you. Actually, here. I'd like to pull up my website. No, my website. Let me in. Okay. So for one of my senior theses that I did like a year and a half ago, I did an animation as well. Oh, I forgot that I took the sound off. I had never animated before this. I was very proud of that fish. So anyway, that was at a frame rate of like depending on the placement, 16 to 20 frame rates per second, which is still pretty slow. And then what I'm doing right now is 2 frames per second, which still means 440 drawings. So this is like what I had so far. I recorded it on my phone. So that's what I'm doing now, continuing to animate, and this is going to take me absolutely the entire weekend. So that's going to be good. You say like too often it's a good thing, you're a good artist, you don't know anything about English, you're holding up to do something till tomorrow, I would never hire someone like you. Okay. Somebody named Jay is cyberbullying me. Here's the thing, I would never wait to do a project that I'm being paid to do. This was a passion project. I will do my own work the day before, but in my real jobs, I would never do that. Unless it was like a rush job, because then you have no possibility of actually, you know, like, doing it beforehand. I've had jobs that were assigned to me day of, for certain things. For animations, you need a lot more time to go through and do a lot of work on them. It depends on how much you care to animate, but for something this large scale. Well, and it doesn't matter if you wouldn't hire me because I have a job, multiple jobs, so that's okay. Don't worry, I'm good. So, right now, the thing is, it does get incredibly tedious because you have to draw the same thing over and over again, basically just in different spots, which is interesting. What did I draw there? Okay, that's fun. I guess we'll leave it. Right now I'm drawing a garden. I'm going to have to figure out a really easy way to make roses without having to draw them over and over again, because roses are more complex than other flowers are because they have a lot of different parts to them. So I'm probably going to draw 3, and then I'm just going to duplicate them over and over again, which is kind of a tactic that you'd use in animation so that you don't have to continue to draw stuff over and over again. Trying to decide if I want to use a light green. I also have like a color palette here at the bottom that I made so that I can just pick off of them instead of. I did a lot of preparation for this. Spent like a whole day doing preparation so that I can actually just work without having to think about it. Can't get over this comment. It's so funny. Who are you? Drawing do be like that sometimes, Toss. I see your stuff all the time that you do for us. Thank you so much for all the work that you do. We really appreciate it. I'm actually the person who runs our social media, and I know people really love putting up your stuff. Oh, I see Jay is at the Art Institute somewhere. It's been working for me so far. So. Yeah, I would never try and leave a professional job to the last minute. But sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you get hired for something like last minute. That's a big thing too. I want the flowers to start to bloom once they're there. Okay, so let's get to drawing our roses. Again, roses are a little bit more complicated. I think I might just go with like the stereotypical. Look up what roses look like. What's fun about being an artist is that you're like, I know what things look like, and then all of a sudden you go to draw them and you're like, do I? Because I don't want them to look too similar, but the fact of the matter is, like, probably going to, well, I want to draw this in the darker color so that it has an outline. You know, it's so funny too, I like never ever think to comment on anything ever online. It's so rare that I do. So when people do, and like hatefully, I'm like, okay, you spit in your coffee this morning. Yeah, I don't want these to look like crap, but I don't want to spend too much time drawing them. If anyone uses Procreate, holla at me. It's good. I'm learning. I have been learning for the past like year and a half how to use it more effectively. Do I want to make the roses different colors? Probably not. I think I'm just going to keep to the red. drawing one of these consistently, I'm sorry, like having 3 of them on lock so I can go back and reference them is going to be super helpful. Because then 3 becomes 6 because you can flip them. You know. Yeah, my professor in college. Yeah, Tuss, thanks. I always need references. Yeah, it's so true. My art professor in college with telling me draw what you see, not what you think. Alright. You telling me I don't know English? Okay. Plus you are your own boss, I believe. Yeah, I work full-time at a place doing graphic design and like ad hoc illustration, photo, etc., etc. And then I also work like 4 freelance jobs. So I do Gov social media, / like my own show for them, which is punk rap, etc. And then, I do, I manage a band, called Fear Not Ourselves Alone. You can stream them on Spotify. I do a lot of their design work. I do all of their photo work. And then I work for a magazine, and I do their design work and their social media. And then I work for freelance for some record companies, and then I do some freelance for some other clients. I used to be a concert photographer before the pandemic, and obviously I can't do that at the moment, but I love it, and I can't wait to keep doing it once this is over. So yeah, I am my own boss when I do freelance stuff, which is awesome and also scary, because the thing is, you have to keep yourself on track, and you learn as time goes on how to manage. My bigger thing is not actually doing the work; it's like starting to do it and trying not to feel like crap about my art or how it's gonna look. Because the thing is, it can't look like crap unless you start it. So it's definitely fun to navigate as an artist. So a lot of the times too, like, your work is personal, so your mind like says that it's like your own self-worth if you're like not doing it the way that you want to be doing it, which is hard. Not to say that other jobs aren't like that, but because I'm sure that if you do, you know, if you're an accountant, like, you still have that reflect on you. It's just like sometimes my own like work is personal to me, and just like that can wear on you if, you know, if you don't like how it comes out, or someone doesn't like how it comes out. These are my roses. I'm gonna make them because I'm gonna use these a crap ton during this drawing and this animation. So I'm just gonna leave my 3 roses in a group at the bottom of my Procreate, so that I can come back and use them later whenever I want to. And so I'm gonna take all 3 of these. I'm gonna duplicate them. And I'm going to group them so that I can come back to them and steal them later when I want to. Roses, original. I'm probably going to put them at the top because that's where I will need them the most. Just for kicks. I have to keep checking on my iPad for your comments, so that's why they're far and few between. Sorry. What's the device I'm working on? Mr. Posse. I'm working on an iPad Pro. I'm working in Procreate. This is the program. It's an Apple Pencil. And this is an iPad Pro. It's good. It's interesting to figure out how to work certain things. I'm much more so a traditional worker. I like to use my hands more often than not. Just, I don't know, it feels more natural to me. Right now, I'm drawing a little rose garden. I'll show you as time goes on. Yeah, I've been drawing or doing art though for like, God, most of my life. Since I could pick up a pen, pencil, whatever. And haven't stopped since. Taz, do you animate? Taz? I don't know how you pronounce your name. It's a bitch. And I'm not an animator by nature, I'm an illustrator. So you definitely have to learn. And I did when I did my thesis, but it's still, you know, it takes some getting used to. Do I have a copyright patent? I mean, no. But it's also, normally I would, if it were me, if it were my work, but my whole face is in it. Like, the video is me, so if anyone wants to come for me, it's my own face, so should be alright. If I work on things, like, for instance, I did an illustration for a book, I did an illustration for a book, and I got my rights to that, because I was like, well, this is my drawing, and no one's gonna know that it's mine, unless I tell them. Actually, I should just pull up Facebook on my computer. That would be smarter. Then I'll be watching too. How is y'all's quarantine going? Because I work mostly freelance, it doesn't really affect most of my work. Because most of what I did was already from home. But I know a lot of people are very heavily affected. Obviously, but like their jobs and everything can't work unless they're actually physically there. So which is awful. I know a lot of designers that I know have been laid off, which is awful. But unfortunately, you know, companies need to do what they need to do to survive. But it still sucks. I know a friend of mine who is working at MTV and got laid off, and I was like, if MTV don't have money, nobody has money. But I'm getting some parts, thanks. Oh crap, I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Every time. That's always the worst. You gotta realize you're drawing on the wrong layer really soon, because otherwise you're gonna fuck up your whole life. I wish I could show you what I'm doing, but oh man, I have a lot of patience with not for animation. Yeah. Me neither. But fortunately enough, the payoff is really great because you can see like your work pay off like as soon as you put it into the program to animate it. I'll show you what I mean in a second. I just want to finish this one part. Um, yeah, illustration can be faster, which is great. But this is just what I found was, um, that when you're illustrating, um, sometimes I didn't feel like super confident in my skills to just like illustrate a flat thing and have it be seen for like a long time. So I was like, you know what? Like, let me see if I didn't think about this, but like now looking back, that I think this was kind of my thought process, of like oh, let me see if uh, if this would be better because if I can put my work like in motion, like it's not seen for more than like 2 seconds, right? Maybe that would make me feel better about it, or maybe that would make it more functional almost. I don't know if that makes sense, but I was like having a lot of doubts to do with my artistry and if I was good enough or whatever, which is so dumb and awful. It sucks to self-doubt, and I know a lot of artists are their own worst enemies, unfortunately. And the thing is too, like when I see other people's work, I'm like, oh my god, amazing, love, I love you, yes, it's so good. And then I see mine and I'm like, trash, garbage, no. So awful. Why does my brain do that? I feel like everyone I know does that though. My friends will send me things and I'll be like, wow, this is really good. And they're like, oh, really? No. It's cool to be proud of your stuff though, like when you actually do something real cool. And that's how I felt about animation. Every time I would do like a GIF, I'd be like, yeah, it's moving. And what I drew was cool too. So that's, I don't know. Having been in the business / having been to art school and through the whole 9 yards, definitely, you have to grow your own skin. Honestly, you have to grow thick skin to yourself after a while, because like I'm just an asshole to myself. People are assholes, but like I take it more personally when I am shitting on myself. So I'm doing thorns are darker than the rest of the flower. There it is. Roses. What the city or state put in place cannot do it. Oh no, I'm good. I'm working. I'm still working and I am fine. Because I had moved back in with my parents for a little bit. I was literally about to move back to Brooklyn when the pandemic started. I'm fine. My company, actually, I work for an education company, so we are more needed than ever. Because people need at-home education at the current moment, like kids and stuff. So I actually am fine, thankfully enough, because I was nervous that would be the case, but I'm actually fine. I hope that you guys are fine. That was more of my shtick, my ask. I know a lot of people who are out of work. I made the idiotic decision to try to animate hair onto myself. So dumb. It is taking so much time to do that. I would have been so much further on if I hadn't done that. So I'm doing it like as if seeing my younger self. I'm so not even anywhere near finishing this and I'm so tired. I'm just hoping I can get it done. The song's good though. If you ever want to look up Phoebe Bridgers, that's who this is by. The song that I'm animating to. It's called Garden Song. Go look it up. It's good. She's good. I love her very much. So, for some, what do I want to say? For some background on me, I went to art school. I'm from Long Island, like most of you are. And what else? I'm trying to work in the music industry, which is why this little competition is kind of important to me. Just because I want to get my name out there. I've already worked for some labels and stuff, but right now, the place I'm working for is just to, pay the bills. Which is fine. I'm very fortunate to be a designer and actually have a job, even remotely in my field. Oh crap. I need that a little bit. Yeah, I don't really want to draw these roses more than once. See like little hearts going up on the side, thanks. I don't know what those are from. See what's funny too, I normally do like content that can't be put on Facebook because it's copywritten. So seeing people speak to me during my time is funny. So normally they can't. Oops. Mama Joan? I don't know what that means. Oops. Probably gonna cut off at 3. Just because I really gotta get this racking. Hope all your Saturdays are going well. Is it Saturday? Time just rushes by. You have nothing to do. I'm kidding. Oops. Didn't need to do that. Show you what I'm working on in a second. Actually, this looks really good. I'm actually really happy with this. A lot of the times, too, in animation, I will just take what I just did. I'll make, like, if I have something that's going to repeat a bunch of times, I will just make 3 versions of it and then copy it over and over again. That's cute. Alright, there we go. Where's that one? This is what I was going to get rid of. Oh, crap. There's 2 more. Oh, there. In a second, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Sometimes, like, also, do you ever just get in those days where you're like, oh my god, I don't want to speak. It's one of these days. I just want to listen to Billy Joel and party. Oh, I can't see me. Hold on. This is what I'm doing. There's flowers around me, and they just sprouted up. From what I've seen, things look great. Thanks, Ernest. Yeah, and I also have to use my computer to do the animation. So I draw it here, and then I bring it into the computer. So I have to, what the hell was I gonna say? Oh my god. I have to do that on here, and you guys are on here on my computer, so I can't do all that at the same time. Why did I pick so many roses? They look good though. I'm happy with how they look. I'll group these. And duplicate that. Oh god, what did I just do? No. Yeah, my iPad has also been like going bonkers just because it can't handle this much all the time. It's like, no, I didn't want that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I need to work. I kind of want to put this into the computer so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Slash also so that I can get the next steps onto my computer. Important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm trying to rotate between I'm trying to rotate between doing complicated scenes and not complicated scenes, because then I can decrease the amount of time it takes. This is like, it's taking me so much longer than I thought it was going to, which is awful. But it looks good. Yeah, so I draw everything here, and then I bring it onto my computer. Oh. I don't know how this is gonna look for you guys. It's just me. I'm growing out my hair, so this doesn't get tucked up yet. We do what we have to do. So I'm gonna take my files and I'm gonna add them to my master files, so I can put them into a program to put them all together. And once I do that, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And then I'm probably gonna log off, because I might go out to have lunch. How many drawings was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. In like 2 hours? An hour? Probably like an hour. An hour and 10. Yeah, but procrastinating is not helpful when you want to get things done. I haven't been procrastinating. It's just like sometimes I get a little bored. Or sometimes I have to like sleep. You know? It takes up time. Let me see if that works. And when your skinhead neighbor goes missing, I'll plant a garden. Actually, it looks really good. Alright, cool. I will record it and show you guys. So, back to the beginning. Someday I'm gonna live in your house up on the hill. And when your skinhead neighbor goes missing, I'll plant a garden in the yard. And I'll show you. Sorry, I'm not ready. I'm petting my cat. I type with this my nose. Oh, don't worry. Alright, so this is what I've been working on. Hold on. Let's get it back to the beginning. It looks good, that's the thing. Someday I'm gonna live in your house up on the hill. And when your skinhead neighbor goes missing, I'll plant a garden. That's what I've got so far. It's going well. So that's what I've got. Yeah, that's about it. I might tune out now just because I gotta finish this, but thank you guys for the support and watching and everything. And some people came back, but that's what I've got for today. Did some animation, did some talking. Tune into Punk Rap Etc. on Wednesdays. Normally I will have it on Saturdays too, but this weekend was special. But I have a lot of stuff to do. So yeah, I'm probably gonna dip. But again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next Wednesday.